Okay, John, I believe we are live streaming. And so greetings. Hello. Good
Hello.
morning. Good morning
Good
to every,
morning to you.
to John and to everybody on LinkedIn and everywhere else this is streaming. This is Talk About TV. So welcome to Talk About TV and where we talk about, sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. I was stumbling over getting this going. But Talk About TV, we talk about all things experiential outdoor hospitality. I'm your host, Michelle Oliver, and every Wednesday we're coming to you with insights from wonderful experts in the outdoor hospitality space, and we're answering these questions. What do I not know about outdoor hospitality? One of the most important things, as we all know, is to create really unique, curated experiences for our guests. Nothing is more important than that. You can have the most beautiful accommodations, and with absolutely nothing to do, it's not much of an experience. So, today, I'm so excited to have you here, John Griffiths, founder of Outbound Kitchen. And would you just like to share just a tad bit about how you wound up here? Not all the details, because most people know you, but like, what are you bringing to us today as far as an experience?
Yeah, well, I started in restaurants when I was 15 years old, and since then I've just been working in restaurants and hotels for a long time. Like a lot of people, I started to capture what was going on in the outdoor hospitality world about 5 or 6 years ago, actually just before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Made some visits and had done some events at some of these spots and realized that there was something really building out there. And from a food point of view, we realized, well, these are beautiful properties that are being developed all over the country, and people don't have anywhere to eat. People don't
Nothing to
know, a
eat.
lot of people that come to these places don't like to cook when they're at home. So why do they want to cook when they're on vacation? And so that just kind of, focused our efforts over the last several years, and we've started to grow and shift from our traditional hotel and restaurant work into working and partnering with resorts and operators in the outdoor and experiential marketplace. So that's kind of where we're at now, and we're really excited at the next evolution that we have here next to us. So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to learn more about this. It's called Farm to Fire because of exactly to your point, people love to cook. Like what we're doing more and more is creating these outdoor decks and outdoor experiences with outdoor kitchens, and they like to throw something on the fire, but they don't want to have to be responsible every night for prepping and doing all that. So please share with us. So let's say I come to a resort, I'm staying in a really beautiful, maybe it's a safari tent, maybe it's a really lovely park model or a little cottage, a tiny home. There's a deck. I go outside, there's an outdoor grill, and I'm like, okay, the kids are coming back from the pool, or we've been at the lake all day. I'm not going to cook. However, I have anticipated this dilemma. And what have I done?
Yes. And you've already ordered your dinner for the weekend, and it
Yeah.
arrived the day you arrived at the resort, and all you're doing is, cracking open this box here to my right, and you're pulling out a wonderful selection of freshly prepared foods that are partially prepped, and your steaks are ready to go on the grill. You've got potato salad already mixed up and nice and cold. You've got corn on the cob. You've got cookies for dessert. You got everything you need for a gourmet experience in this box ready for you when you arrive at the resort. This started a few years ago when we were kind of developing our consulting efforts in outdoor hospitality. And a lot of people just wanted us to help develop grill kits for their resort, help us find a local caterer or restaurant who could just send kits for people to buy at their, at their lodge or in their shop. And those relationships were great to set up, but they never lasted very long. The local operator just didn't have the standards that the resort might want. And there was just a lot of friction with spoilage and ordering and how to handle that. And so they never really were super successful. And then it just kind of, the light bulb went off with actually one of my employees. And he's like, well, we should just do Blue Apron, just ship it to everybody. And I was like,
Exactly.
no, no, we're not doing that. Like I knew, like,
I'm a
I
real
live in the Bay
chef,
Area.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I live in the Bay Area. I've seen these, like, so many of these things go belly up. I'm like, I'm not, you were not getting into that. But then as we kept talking about it over like the course of like almost a year, just we started to work out, well, how would we do it? How could we, make this more feasible? And we just settled on a partnership with the operating resort. So what we do is we're enrolling farm to fire with the actual resort. So we integrate into the booking process
Wow.
with the resort. So when you go online and you make a reservation at wherever you're going to go, glamping for a weekend or a few days, you're going to book your tent, your cabin, or your dome, whatever it might be. And then if you're a partner site, up pops our little window, and we're going to say, hey, do you want to have some of these beautiful meals delivered to your campsite when you arrive? And you'll get a selection of the options we have available, and then we'll take care of the rest. You've got your reservation date in the system, and we're going to make sure that they arrive right on time. The resort, all the resort has to do is handle them, receive them, hang on to them till you get there, and then give you the goods, and then you're off, and then you've got a wonderful full-fledged weekend of relaxation, like real relaxation, right? You're not worrying about, well, I forgot to pack the ketchup, or I didn't have,
Right.
like I forgot the burger buns, whatever it might be. And you don't have to run around trying to find that at the last minute. We've got it all here for you. So we've taken care of all of that stuff. I mean, everyone anybody goes camping, even at the basic level, like organizing the food for a trip,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
such an effort, right?
Oh my
And
goodness.
so we really wanted to kind of find a way to make this, make these experiences easier for people and also for the operators. Like everybody thinks they want to try to do food and beverage, on one of these glamping locations or these outdoor resorts, and
Yeah.
it's really hard unless you've got a certain number of sites and a certain ADR. Like we have metrics that we use, but there's a lot of people out there that just aren't at that level where it makes sense to have food and beverage on property. But you
Right.
still have a high caliber of guests who really demand something different than what the local market can provide, and that's where we come in. We
Okay.
ship
So
everything fresh from California.
that was
And
my
yeah,
next question
yeah,
is this is this is just brilliant, and you are really meeting such a tremendous need. So is this also through like it could be accessed through a campground. It doesn't have to be a high-end resort, right? Like any
no,
campground out there. I mean, it is so true that the food burden is huge. I remember when I was a kid and we went tent camping. We had 7 kids and we had a huge tent. And it was like being in the army because we had to be so organized with the food and it was not fun. So what you have done is actually create systems around quality control for the meals in a arena where there would be absolutely no control unless the operator actually decides to go into the restaurant business, which you can help them with if they're at that stage. But you have to really know your market and be ready for that. And most people don't even want to deal with it, it's beyond them. So, wow, what an incredibly creative and productive solution you've created. John, is there actually food in those boxes, or do you want me to share my screen and
no, no
show?
food in these boxes.
Okay,
These ones are empty.
let me
I did
share
have
the
I did have aspirations of doing the podcast actually down at the kitchen, so we'd have everything there. But I also have a small child at home, wasn't able to get out of the house this morning, so
I don't know. Can
um,
you see my screen where it says farm
I
to
can see
fire?
it. Yep,
Okay,
yep.
perfect. So let's just go through this really quickly because I think a lot of people are going to benefit from this. And we're not like doing a sales pitch here, but kind of, because this is a solution to a huge well, here you go. You start out with a challenge. The outdoor hospitality industry is booming with more people seeking memorable experiences in nature, not the experiences they want to forget of, wow, we had burned bratwurst with no mustard or whatever.
Right.
However, right, providing high quality, fresh meal options in remote locations can be challenging and costly for resorts. So, you're preaching to the choir here. Anybody that's in outdoor hospitality has had that experience. And the reason to do this is that these are farm fresh culinary experiences basically delivered, and also you are handling the quantity issue, right? Because just person by person, guest by guest, they are placing their order in advance when they book.
Yes. So
Really,
they
really
come. They if you go to our we actually have an Instagram page up so people can order from the public. So if you go to on Instagram, farm.to.fire, you'll see our page there and a link to the Shopify site so you can review all the offerings we have right now. And you can order it right there online if you'd like, but our focus is really on building relationships with the resorts to partner with them because that's really where we'll get the scale to be successful is not trying to acquire a customer one at a time. That's what Blue Apron and HelloFresh and all those people do. We want to partner with resorts to kind of see the value in that. And so yes, people go online, they book, if they've got 4 people, each of our kits serve, they're noted on the website, 2 to 4 guests per kit, but you just order the number you need and we take care of the rest. There's very little effort on the part of the customer. We make sure that the product is there, it's fresh, it's ready to go. A lot of the items in that image you're seeing there, like some dishes are prepped and ready to go. So you just put them on the grill and then you got the seasonings ready for the steaks or the chicken. So the idea is that when you come back from one of your active days, or maybe it's just not a very active day at all, but you're just relaxing, you're like, oh, it's time for dinner. There's a lot of steps involved when you're outdoors and making dinner. If you've got a charcoal grill, that takes 20 minutes to get that, fire going. So we wanted to really cut down the time it takes for people to make that meal. So a lot of the items are partially prepped so that all you have to do is really, season the burgers, pull out the potato salad, crack the lid off, throw the burgers on, and you're ready to go in under 20 minutes in almost all of the kits that we have.
This is fantastic. So how far in advance, like if I've already booked at the property and I'm kind of iffy on this for whatever reason, like we have a dinner planned or something at a restaurant, how soon, like could I order while I'm there?
But we have a 5-day lead time. So it
Okay.
takes roughly 72 hours for us to process an order. And then generally the shipping is 1 to 2 days. So it's not
Okay.
something you do unless you're staying for a while, which is,
Right.
again, why we want to integrate into the booking process with our partner resorts.
Exactly.
So
Right.
developing APIs so that, it's a seamless experience for the guest. And then, for the operator, it's a zero loss scenario, right? Because the guest is booking the product that they need as much as they need when they need it, there's not a retail loss. The biggest issue that we had with our partnerships when we were developing meal kits for resorts one at a time locally was that they'd have to order 20 of them or 40 of them,
Right.
from the local operator, and then they might not sell them, and then they have the
Exactly. Wow.
spoilage. This is zero loss for the operator. They're just collecting, the money that we pay them, which is 10%, by the way, of the food revenue. And all they have to do is their one attendant or whoever might be there during the day is just receive the UPS delivery when they show up. We need a little bit of refrigeration, and then the guest shows up and you hand them the box, and that's all you do, and you get 10%. So it's a really easy scenario, we think, for both the customer and the operator. So that's what we're trying to do, just make it a very seamless process.
You've done a beautiful, beautiful job. This is looking like very 4th of July food here, everybody. So if you are not including this in your booking process, you're nuts. Like it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's an absolute no-brainer. Okay, so everyone, here's John's contact information. And I suggest take a screenshot of that, reach out to him, see how he can help you. John, this is brilliant, and I'm so excited to be promoting you here because I mean, this is unique. It's perfect.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't say
We're
no
really
to
excited about
it's going to change
it.
everything for the guest. It makes it easy and fun and cost effective for everyone. Think how
Yeah.
much food goes bad like in your cooler if you're
Yeah.
doing it that
Yeah.
way. And I mean, you're just taking all the liability out of it so you can have an easy,
Absolutely.
wonderful, fun experience. So thank you so much for being here today. Ladies
You're
and
welcome.
gentlemen, John Griffiths, Outbound Kitchen. And this is what we are all about at Evolve Lodging is you guys, your opportunity to impact people with these hospitality businesses is extraordinary. And John is making it really easy for you. So thank you so much. And hope you get a ton of phone calls today. Everybody should be calling you and wishing they'd already set this up for 4th of July. But there's next year. And there's Labor Day,
Absolutely.
and
There's
there's
still plenty of time in the
August.
summer. Yeah.
Plenty
Yep.
of time. We're right smack dab in the middle. So, okay. Well,
Yep.
again, thank you for your time and your expertise and your attitude. And we'll do this again soon. Okay.
All right. Sounds great.
Thanks,
Thanks so much,
John.
Michelle.
Uh-huh.
Yep.